So, good morning, Casey.
Good morning.
I'd like to start the exam off by having you remove your shirt. And this will allow me to check for any limitations of range of motion. So before I get started, however, I am going to wash my hands. And can you please state your name and your birth date?
I'm KC, and my birth date is June 31st, 1961.
Very good, thank you. And I am washing my hands right now. So go ahead and remove your shirt, please. And at this time, I am checking for limitations of range of motion. If the patient is complaining of any pain while raising their arms, I'm also going to be looking for any type of asymmetry. I'm looking at the front for symmetry. I'm looking at the side, and I'm looking also at the back for any type of muscle bulk deformities. And at any point during the exam, Casey, if you are having or experiencing any pain with any of the movements I'm asking you to do, if you would please let me know.
Okay.
Thank you. So the next part of the exam, we want to check the cervical spine, because the cervical spine deformities can lead to shoulder pain, and it can elicit shoulder pain. So I'm looking that the spine is straight. I'm palpating again to see if there's any deformities, and I do not see any. If, KC, you could turn and look at me. If you could take your head and bring it down to your neck. If you could now extend your head to the back. Perfect. Are you having any pain? And if you could go ahead and turn your head from side to side. Very good. All right, the next stage of the exam, we're going to check your range of motion. Your range of motion, we'll start checking by having you raise your arms up, forward flexion, and if you could do both arms at the same time, that would be great. So start again, lower your hands, and then raise both arms at the same time. And at this point, I am listening for any clicks or if the patient is having any pain at all. If you could now take your arms to the side and bring them up, both of them at the same time, bring them all the way up as far as you can go. So it looks as if you are having some pain on that right shoulder, which is why you're here. Very good. Now lower that. Now I'd like you to take your arms and bring them this way. Cross your body, please. One at a time, please. This way, and then the other one as well. Great. Does that elicit any pain from you?
No, but when I use my right shoulder, I hear a little popping.
Great. Thank you. Now I'd like you to take your arms, if you could turn around, and you're going to take your arms and bring them to your back. Yes. And then the other arm as well. And at this point, I'm also looking at his scapular motion. And now take those down. And then bring one arm up to your scapular as far as you can go. Very good. And the next arm. So there is some limitation of movement there as far as the internal rotation goes, moving his shoulder to his scapular. Now, because he was complaining, you can turn back around. And because he was complaining of shoulder pain while golfing, a lot of times the slap lesions are caused by athletes with repeated motion of their shoulder. For him, what I'd like to do is a labral exam. I'd like to do the speed test, the O'Brien test, and Crank's test. And if any of these are positive, it would mean that there is a tear in his labrum. So first, what I'd like you to do is to raise your arm up, your right arm, which is the one that's giving you the trouble. And at this point, try to offer resistance, please. Hold your arm this way with you. And now offer resistance. Is there any pain?
A little bit.
Very good. And now what I'd like you to do is to do the Cranks test. And I'd like to hold your arm here and bend your arm. Rotate this way, rotate that. Is there pain? Very good. So at the external rotation, there is pain. I'm listening also for any catching, any clicking. And at this point, Casey has had pain with the Cranks test and with the O'Brien's test. So I am diagnosing him with a tear in his labrum. What happens with these tests, we do not need to have further diagnostic tests because these tests prove that there is a tear in your labrum. Thank you very much for your assistance.